No one in Dodger Stadium expected the night to end like this. Not after everything that had already happened. Not after the rings, not after the fireworks, not after the standing ovations. But sometimes baseball writes a script so unbelievable you almost wonder if the game itself is alive. It all began long before the first pitch. The stadium lights dimmed, the crowd rose, and the Dodgers stepped onto the field wearing the glow of champions. It was ring ceremony night, the kind of night where the past and future collide under the echo of applause. The players lined up one by one, receiving their championship rings, each one shimmering like a piece of destiny forged into metal. Even the air felt different, thicker, heavier, carrying the weight of a celebration years in the making. But behind the cheers, behind the camera flashes, there was something else brewing. Something you could feel but not see. A tension humming quietly beneath the surface, like a string pulled tight. The Detroit Tigers walked onto the field with no interest in being part of the Dodgers' fairy tale. They arrived to spoil, disrupt, dismantle. They weren't here for applause, they were here for a fight. The first inning set the tone immediately. Detroit attacked early, their swings sharp, their confidence unshaken. A hard line drive into the gap sent a jolt through the Dodgers' dugout. It wasn't fear, just a reminder that even on the most magical nights, baseball demands respect. The Dodgers answered back with a loud crack of the bat. A double rattled off the wall, and the crowd surged with electricity. But as quickly as momentum swung toward Los Angeles, the Tigers snatched it back, shutting the door with icy composure. In the third inning, Detroit struck again. A no-doubt home run soared into the night sky, tracing a perfect arc under the stadium lights. It wasn't just a hit, it was a message. The Tigers were here to silence the celebration. Dodger Stadium, once roaring, grew strangely quiet. Not silent, just heavy. As if 40,000 hearts were holding their breath at the same time. But then came the spark. Mookie Betts stepped into the box for the first time that night, and the crowd erupted. His name echoed like thunder rolling off the mountains. He didn't do anything flashy, just a sharp single up the middle, but you could feel the shift instantly. There are players who hit. There are players who led. And then there are players whose presence alone changes the gravity of the game. As the innings passed, the Dodgers kept fighting, clawing back run by run. A sacrifice fly here, a timely single there. Every moment felt like a push against fate, a refusal to let the night slip away. By the seventh inning, the tension had reached its peak. Detroit still held the lead, and the Dodgers were running out of outs. The Tigers pitchers were dealing with icy precision, painting corners, forcing weak contact. But baseball isn't about perfection. It's about moments. And the Dodgers were waiting for theirs. In the eighth inning, everything changed. A bloop single dropped in shallow left. A walk followed. The crowd leaned forward, sensing something shifting. The Tigers brought in a reliever, a hard-throwing right-hander who looked ready to shut the door. But the Dodgers refused to bow. A ground ball snuck through the infield, tying the game. And the stadium exploded back to life, louder than it had been all night. Ring ceremony night had officially become a war. By the ninth inning, the moment felt too big for words. Every fan stood. Every eye watched the field with the intensity of someone witnessing history in motion. The Tigers were desperate to steal the game back, but the Dodgers held firm. And then, as if written by destiny itself, the bottom of the ninth arrived. The walk-off inning. The inning every kid dreams about. The inning where legends decide to speak. Mookie Betts walked toward the batter's box with a calm that made the moment even more electrifying. He didn't rush. He didn't hype himself up. He just breathed, slow and controlled, like a man who understood exactly what this moment meant. The pitcher stared in. Mookie stared back. The entire stadium crackled with tension. First pitch, ball. The crowd exhaled. Second pitch, foul. A flash of bat speed so fast you could barely see it. Third pitch, strike. The crowd tightened. The Tigers sensed opportunity. But Mookie was waiting. The pitcher wound up for the fourth pitch, a fastball meant to challenge him, meant to test him, meant to see if he was willing to break under pressure. What happened next will live forever. The ball came in chest high, spinning with perfect velocity, but Mookie's swing was even more perfect. Clean, violent, controlled. The crack echoed through the stadium like lightning splitting the sky. The ball didn't just travel, it launched. High, deep, gone. A walk-off home run. On ring ceremony night. By Mookie Betts. Dodger Stadium erupted into a sound so loud it felt like the earth itself shook. Fans screamed. Players poured out of the dugout, sprinting like kids running toward a miracle. Mookie rounded the bases with a smile that lit up the entire ballpark, the kind of smile only a man who just carved his name into baseball history can wear. By the time he reached home plate, he was swallowed by his teammates, arms around him, jerseys flying, chaos swirling. The Tigers watched quietly, defeated not by a mistake, but by greatness. And in that moment, surrounded by the roar of 40,000 believers, Mookie Betts didn't just win a game. He defined a night. He honored a championship. He gave the crowd a memory they will carry for the rest of their lives. Because sometimes baseball gives you magic. And sometimes a player steps forward and says, "This one is mine." On ring ceremony night, under the weight of history and the glow of celebration, Mookie Betts called game. And the whole world watched.